Oh, they said a mask and gloves were enough to the grocery store. They lied. Everybody else had those on. Don't ask.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
We have been affected by this quarantine, as all of you have. Even though we don't live together, we used to see each other almost every day. Well, no, basically every day. But now, since we're quarantined and we live in two different cities, we aren't able to visit each other every day anymore.
Us visiting each other every day, to us then just being the weekends, and then to us secretly meeting at the grocery store, to now us not being able to see each other at all. So that's kind of how it went down. Our towns are right next to each other, so we're less than a 10-minute drive apart. But because there are military now on the border of the towns, we can't leave the towns we're in. That's why we can't meet at a grocery store anymore. Now, from now on, we'll have to be filming our videos separate. You won't be able to see us together.
That is why this video is so strange, us basically recording our phone. Okay, so in our last video that we put up, we kind of mentioned how we were trying to go back home to the US, trying to see if we could find flights and how it would work with having two passports, whether or not we could leave as Italians or Americans, and we just weren't exactly sure. We went ahead and bought the tickets anyways, but we weren't exactly sure. And now that we are stuck here, we thought we would explain to all of you what happened in that process, because it was a long process.
And basically, why we're not home, what happened, and why we're stuck here and not home.
Exactly.
Basically, when things started to get really bad in Italy around 3 weeks ago, our parents called us and talked to us about the different options we had. We decided that our safest option would be fly home. We had a flight where we didn't want to have a layover in Rome or Milan up in northern Italy,
which is
all really bad. It was from Sicily to Frankfurt and then Frankfurt to Chicago. We were checking it daily. It first came out that our flight from Sicily to Germany was waitlisted. We got the news about Trump closing the US border, but then still saying Americans can fly home. And we called United and they're like, yeah, sorry, unfortunately your entire flight's been canceled. We've literally called the Catania airport. We called the US embassy. We called United. We called Lufthansa because they were the ones that were operating the flight. Me and my host mom Valentina, she actually did it all for me because I don't even speak Italian enough to have phone conversations with people. So she was calling everyone for me. But the thing is, Sicily then put the night before a law that was passed that you can't leave or enter Sicily.
So even if we were Americans and Trump was still letting us go home from a country that was affected so badly like Italy was from the coronavirus, we couldn't technically leave because Sicily stopped us, or Italy stopped us from leaving. So it had nothing, at this point, had nothing to do.
Stopped us from leaving.
Exactly, the Italian government stopped us. At this point, it had nothing to do with America or Trump or anything. The Italian government ended up stopping us.
They weren't letting any domestic passengers fly out. They only had the post office, some high-up business people flights. When we found out United canceled our flights, my mom's like, you need to get out of here as soon as possible. Just the soonest flight you find, book it. And the only one that I could buy was Alitalia.
And that took us to Rome.
Yeah, Sicily to Rome, Rome to Chicago. It was one of the only flights flying left out of Italy to New York. And it wouldn't fly to any other place in America except New York. And the next one was for 7 a.m. the next morning. And this was 2 in the afternoon?
2 or 3 in the afternoon, yeah.
So then we book it. But then after we booked that flight, mind you, this is my third and fourth flight I'm booking, the loading signs happens. There was they didn't give me a confirmation email, nothing. But my mom, we checked the bank account, they were pending, the money was coming out. They were trying to take the money.
We didn't get any ticket confirmation, we didn't get anything. They just took our money essentially.
That's when we tried calling Alitalia and their whole phone system wasn't working. It was completely down. So that's why Valentina went to a friend that knew someone that worked for Alitalia, and that's when she's like, yeah, we're a complete mess, but just to let you know, whatever you booked online, whatever, you need to cancel it somehow with your bank and fight it, because even if you got a confirmation email or whatever, even if you got the tickets, they wouldn't let you leave with those tickets. You can't leave. And that's when she's like, even if you go to the airport and try buying tickets there, they're not going to work. They won't let you leave. I called U.S. Embassy daily, and finally it got to the point where she's like, okay, that we can't help you with. She goes, yes, you can't come home, but there's no flights. That's not on us. That's on the airlines. That's basically essentially what she said to me. She was like, that's up to you to figure out how to fly home. Russ, we're letting you back in. If you want to come to America, you're allowed back in. You're allowed to enter. But how to get there, she's like, we can't help you with that, even if you're an American. And she goes, and then the whole dual citizen thing came up. She's like, you have residency in Sicily. You're an Italian. They see that you're a resident here. So even if you have an American citizen, the Italian government won't let you leave because you're a resident here in Sicily, and you have like you have an Italian passport. You have
on our
everything. So
IDs,
like,
it says like what city that we're from, like our passport, our IDs, everything has all our Italian information, our fiscal code, everything that we work so hard to get. We obviously have, and the Italian government obviously knows.
Some other dual citizen girl I was talking to here, she's like, it's not like you're James Bond with 2 different identities. She goes, no, it's all connected. Even if you try to leave with your American passport, they're going to see you're an Italian citizen. And then, like, it kind of is frustrating because my mom was like, you've only been an Italian for 5 minutes and now you're stuck there. We've bought, like, over $3,000 worth of flights that we haven't gotten any money back for yet. We're in the process of trying to get all our refunds.
So we bought our United tickets before the end of March, obviously, because we're still in March. But if you bought tickets before the end of March and those flights got canceled, you could use those tickets any other time in the rest of 2020 until December 31st, 2020. So whenever we do decide to fly home, or whenever we are able to fly home, we will just use those United tickets that we can use. And if our flights are more expensive, the only thing that we'll have to pay is like the difference between our original flight and the new flight that is more expensive. But those flights, those tickets that were canceled are flexible. They can be moved to any date.
And if you don't use those United points they gave me back, they said after an entire year, they will then refund you the money. With Alitalia, though, that whole thing was a complete disaster, and we're still trying to get our money back with that. So now we've been on quarantine. We're starting our 3rd week in quarantine, like house lockdown, like where you can't even leave.
Yeah, day 14, guys, day 14.
A lot of places in America are now quarantine lockdown as well. But you're allowed to at least go out, take a walk in your vicinity. We can't even leave the house even a little bit. Like, there's police officers driving up and down our street. So right when we went into lockdown, it was like due time to get these fake nails taken off. Another 3 weeks past due. I am going crazy. They're so long and they're so overgrown.
Can you peel them off?
I can't get them off.
Can you peel them off?
It's too painful. It's too painful.
So we just wanted to update you all on our current situation and why we're still in Sicily, because we're staying happy, staying healthy, and just being grateful that we're okay at this moment. We've been in touch with our family, calling them every day.
We're just waiting it out here.
For all of you who are just starting out your quarantine, good luck. That is it for today's video. We hope you enjoyed. That's the update of why we're still in Sicily and all of that. So we will continue to update you all. We're gonna still do our weekly vlogs, show you all what our life is like here in quarantine.
See you all in the next video.
Ciao.